Hello, Chainsaw Valkyrie here. Welcome back, vampires and vampettes, for another chapter of Tales from the Holler. Tonight's story is a cautionary tale for all you fishermen. I know that might sound fishy, but I will let you be the judge of that. So hold on to your bladders and get ready for the baleful beast of Goblin Lake. Beware, beware of Goblin Lake. Don't go there for heaven's sake. The baleful beast will drag you under. He'll eat you up, tear you asunder, take you to his filthy den, and there you'll meet your bloody end. This is the warning that my grandpa would utter to me and my friend's little brother, whenever we'd head out to our old fishing pole with our tin full of worms and our cane fishing poles. Grandpa, we'd never traipse close to that lake, with its deep murky water and cottonmouth snakes. Snakes, my young lad, is the least of your worries. There's dangers out there that are equal to Murray, the lycanthrope beast that lives up on the mountain, and one of those lives in that black water fountain, that algae-filled pond that they call Goblin Lake. So never go there for good heaven's sake, or you may encounter the beast Gilbert Finn, the goblin-like creature whose shape is like men, but not only men, also fish and like gator, an amphibian fiend that lives in that crater. Gilbert is just a nickname for the creature, and other than shape doesn't share any feature, but humans at all, he's a beast through and through, and he's always looking to be feasting on you. He's covered completely with scales and with fins, with a long gator tail and a gator-toothed grin. His head's like a fish, but it's way oversized, and he's covered with muck and with mucus and slime. His hands and his feet are both webbed and have claws, and he's fitted with gills and powerful jaws. Old Granny Ferris, a powerful witch, summoned this demon to kill those who dared fish in the lake that adjoined her desolate land, to kill one and all, be it woman or man. So stay away, boys, from Razorback Holler, away from the witch and that Goblin Lake water. Don't worry, Gramps, we will just take our poles down to the creek to our frog-gigging hole. We gather our poles, our hooks, and our bait, then we headed out for a fun fishing date. Down at the creek we met Nathan and Jean, both wearing waders for crossing the stream. Nathan and Jean were bass angler pros. They knew about bait and the good fishing holes. We teamed up with them to learn from these masters, but this fishing trip would become a disaster. We fished until noon, but got nary a bite. Then Nathan suggested at the lake we just might. "I'm game," shouted Jean, with a dip-covered chin. "I'll catch and I'll eat that old Gilbert Finn." My grandpa just warned of that old baleful beast. If we go to that lake, we will end up his feast. Nathan said Jean is an old fishing pro. He'll keep us all safe. I think we should go. The five of us headed toward Razorback Holler, while Jean spit his dip in a Mountain Dew bottle. Nathan stuck lures in his blue fishing hat, and we all strode along just chewing the fat. We stopped by the cabin of Nathan and Jean, and picked up his boat and a water canteen. Jean led the way in his bib overalls, while Nathan kept practicing making duck calls. We trudged through the woods at Razorback Holler, and through a deep marshy pit where the boar went to waller. Using great care to avoid Granny Ferris, the haggard old witch was the devil's own heiress. Evil and cruel, with a hard icy cold, we gave a wide berth to the place she abode. Continuing on, we walked through a forest that looked manicured by a demonic florist. Nathan cried out. He skipped and got hoppy. "Jean, we've arrived. Let's go catch a crappie." Jean placed his boat in the black brackish water as the heat of the day just got hotter and hotter. I said, "Guys, I'm not sure this idea is so sound. We are trespassing on a dark, bloody ground, a place that is cursed by an old witch's hex, and guarded by demons she's conjured to vex. This place is the home to the flesh-eating beastie. His addiction to blood could make him quite feisty. And we're on the menu in our bib overalls, He'll rip us to shreds with his razor-sharp claws. I heard he once mangled old William Dotty, ripped him apart and ate half his body. He munches on spleens and kidneys and bones. We should turn back and just leave him alone. Jean started roaring. I came here to fish, and if you are afraid, you can leave if you wish. There's no need to fear this strange aberration. I'll kill and I'll scale it. Just ask my friend Nathan. Nathan exclaimed, look at him there in his new set of waders, standing majestic like an old Viking raider. If any man could ever fail this foul creature, you know it'd be Jean, my mentor and teacher. Jean stepped in the boat and prepared to cast anchor, but his compulsion for dip had started to hanker. He took out his skull to pack full his lip, when the boat where he stood proceeded to tip, and without any warning, Gilbert sprang from the lake, eyeballing Jean like an oversized steak. Nathan was crying and let go of his bladder. The terror he felt made his teeth start to chatter. His face it turned white and started to pale. He whimpered a little. He swooned, then he fell. Nathan was lying passed out in the mud, and old Gilbert Finn was out to draw blood. He lumbered ashore, this murderous brute, and I and my friends knew that we had to scoot. But before we could turn to make our retreat, Jean took a frog gig and gigged Gilbert's feet. Then Jean took a lure from Nathan's blue hat, which he tied to his pole just as quick as a cat. With the flick of his wrist, he cast out his line with an accurate aim that was almost divine. The lure that he chose was an old fishing fly, and it caught Gilbert Finn in his big bulbous eye. The murky-dipped demon thrashed all about, but when Jean set his hook, the eyeball came out. His ocular cavern was spewing out blood as Nathan kept lying right there in the mud. Gilbert was glaring with murderous hate, but instead of attacking, he just swam away. We were all left to find our way back home, to abandon this place and leave Gilbert alone. Nathan awoke. On his face was a grin. He said, Jean, you're my hero. I knew you would win. We all survived and the lesson was learned. We ventured back home and we never returned. Some people think that our story was fake, but I know that Gilbert's still up at the lake, watching and waiting for all who would dare to come find the goblin and disrupt his lair. He'll tear off your head and he'll pull you apart, suck out your marrow and eat up your heart. So stay away for goodness sake from the baleful beast of Goblin Lake. It is good to have friends, isn't it? Make sure you share this story and this channel with yours, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Stay creepy!